viral, especially where ICE agents chased after a man in downtown after he made verbal comments but no physical or threatening contact. The man was able to get away, but already I could see the song of Benny Hill being played in the background. Now, I know where this area is at. This is nearby Trump Tower. I don't know why they would chase after him because he didn't do anything, but we'll see how this all plays out. Okay, so look, obviously, I think a lot of us in Chicago were kind of taken aback where you're seeing ICE agents patrolling the downtown area. Now, is Chicago a violent city? Well, yes, there's violence here, but going down the Magnificent Mile, State Street, Upper Wacker Drive, all over the, hustle and bustle areas, it's abundantly clear that the mayor's office was never going to prevent ICE from doing these patrols. And it can be very well assumed that this is probably the beginning stages of, well, if the National Guard aren't coming to Chicago soon, it's going to happen sometime next year then. You know what? One more time, just for the giggles. How about this, folks? I will be more than happy to put in non-copyright music, but it'll do. But there's a little more to this. There's a little bit more to this because there was a lot of people covering this, talking about this. And if you ever asked me if I would see, military forces, military units patrolling in the downtown Chicagoland area, I would have called you a liar. Now, this is on Michigan Avenue, just so you lovely, beautiful people know. Honestly, I'm kind of remembering my first patrol in the red zone in Baghdad. Little side note, in case you never knew this, yes, Kit Adrian Cabello, served 4 years in the Marine Corps. And in my first tour, we were stationed in the green zone. And there was a moment in which our unit was allowed to patrol in the red zone in Baghdad, at least one portion of it. And, it's interesting patrol formation. I'm not going to critique it, whatever, but reminds me of it. But why do I feel like we're opening up a Pandora's box that we will not be able to close in regards to seeing military and federal agents patrolling our streets? This never happened before. And unfortunately, I would say that Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker have really screwed us up. They could file all the lawfare and lawsuits they want. They're not going to get what they want. So there you go. All right, folks, real quick here. I am also going to be pulling up another video here, and this has to deal with commentary from, you better believe it, people who were against what ICE was doing.
Please welcome Senator Robert Peters.
Good evening. I didn't think I was going to be here on a Sunday evening to give a speech or to talk about this. But we have this authoritarian freak loser of a president who's failing in every metric of leadership, who in my district that I represent, not too far from here, that stretches from downtown along the lakefront to the southeast side, is literally sending in masked people to abduct people. Now, I will just say, this is a moment for solidarity. I am the descendant of people who are impacted by the Dred Scott decision, by slave catchers who abducted people to bring them back to the South. I could not, in good conscience, not be here and to share that story, because we are seeing this again in this country. And it is disgusting and painful and hurtful. Every weekend, actually almost every day, I have had a text or a call. I've had to talk to people at 11 o'clock at night who are afraid about what's going on in their community. And I just want to be there for them, knowing that I feel a deep sense of powerlessness. I do. The federal government, the full weight of the federal government, is using a military tactic to round up their own people. They're using CBP to go along the river with a loser of a leader who's on the front of that boat to film propaganda videos. But what I do know is that there is power in resistance. There is hope in resistance. The folks here, the folks doing rapid response, they are the leaders of that resistance. And so I want to say to all the people who may be watching this, you heard a president made a promise. He's going to make sure your health care is cheaper. He's going to make sure your groceries are cheaper. He's going to make America special. And instead, he's spending your money to play footsie with authoritarianism. And your health care is going to get higher. Your groceries are going to get higher. You're not going to have a job because of this president. And he's taking your money to do this. We're going to fight back against him. In American history, people have been fighting back against this level of oppression and pain. And in American history, we've seen people who fight back and win. And we will. And this embarrassing, stupid...
Now, here's the thing. I understand the emotional outrage and anger in seeing federal ICE agents patrol in downtown Chicago. Well, we've seen this before. And look, I'm going to be the one to rip the Band-Aid off. But we have seen this, especially when it came down to the 2020 lockdowns. Remember, everybody mask up, get vaccinated, all that kind of stuff, right? Remember the lockdowns and how great they were and how it ruined it for a lot of us and how a lot of us were in pain and suffering this entire time? Yeah, absolutely. I do too. But the thing is, everyone, since we are now watching, since we are now live and direct, and since we are going to have to deal with the fact that Trump and his administration are going to follow through his campaign promise, you know, it is interesting to watch now, after those who have called for lockdowns or either at the National Guard to be put on the streets, especially during that time, to now be upset seeing these same federal agents, but yet these same federal agents were in Chicago in February early this year. Whatever plan or resistance that Mayor Brandon Johnson and his administration has or was planning to do has failed miserably. Now, there are so many videos out there on social media, especially with ICE patrolling in the, very affluent parts of Chicago, like Michigan Avenue. Yes, is it for propaganda? Absolutely. I'm not going to ignore that. This is perfect photo ops, especially the Benny Hill chase. But the bigger picture is, and the bigger story here is, what happens now since the federal agents like ICE or the FBI and maybe the National Guard are going to be patrolling down these streets in major metropolitan cities? I mean, is this what it's devolved into? I don't think that there's a reverse policy at this point. Trump is touting his success in Washington, D.C. He is planning on doing the same thing in Memphis, talking about doing the same thing in Portland. And if you think he's forgotten Chicago, no, he's going to come back to Chicago. All this talk about, oh, Trump's not going to bring the National Guard in Chicago. We won. No, you didn't. You only postponed the inevitable. I fear that we're losing our ability to really be a free people. Is the new norm going to be seeing agents on the streets, military patrols on the streets, National Guard convoys in Chicago traffic? I mean, I don't want that to be the scenario, but Looks like we're going into it. And yet there's also these digital ID laws now that are happening. We're seeing how speech is being curtailed in the United Kingdom, especially people being arrested for liking a post or commenting on a post or making a post on social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, wherever. Dangerous times ahead, folks. But whatever the resistance was planning on doing, it was mediocre.
Going to get higher. You're not going to have a job because of this president. And he's taking your money to do this. We're going to fight back against him. In American history, people have been fighting back against this level of oppression and pain. And in American history, we've seen people who fight back and win. And we will. And this embarrassing, stupid loser of a president, embarrassing, stupid loser of a president is not going to win. Thank you.
I think he already has. And here we go. So what's happening here? So on Michigan Avenue, stationed along Wacker Drive and on the Gold Coast. These are affluent areas, by the way, according to witnesses and social media videos. Local officials condemned deployment, which has long been threatened by President Donald Trump, saying that there was no need for a militarized presence downtown. It was a group of about 30 Border Patrol guys and said, I really don't know why they're here. This is a very peaceful part of the city, which, yes, where they were at, arguably, yes. But there were some smash and grabs in August at a Rolex store and at a Louis Vuitton. And unfortunately, at that one Louis Vuitton store, the getaway drivers, one who was part of was photoed with J.B. Pritzker, was part of a group that was in a vehicle that ran over and got in a car accident, was a soon-to-be father, an innocent victim. This is why you're seeing this here. The escalation of crime that's in Chicago, but also for the fact that this is a Democrat, quote-unquote, machine city. But the machine is really, it has no identity. It's just a political machine. But he who controls the machine controls a major city with access to many resources and groups. And this is the way you put pressure on the Democrats, because right now they're up against the wall. Mayor Brandon Johnson, $1.1 billion in the hole for the city. Governor J.B. Pritzker is set to be on the slate for the 2028 election cycle. He's up there to be one of the people. He's up there to be one of the people to be running for the nomination for the Democrat Party in 2028. And there's a growing resentment and anger towards a lot of aldermen and politicians in this city, be it from Cook County to city officials, and we are seeing an anger that is starting to bubble and boil out of control. People are furious. Not to mention, you have ICE out there rounding up migrant workers, and then you have the potential of the National Guard coming here to lower down crime. You really want to stop the problems. I'm going to say this again. ICE officials, hey, looking cat fancy, right? Go to City Hall. That's where the problem's at. If everyone's here for law and order, hey, go over to the place where it's lawless. City Hall, City Hall, City Hall. But again, I feel like I'm speaking into the ether. One person, a young girl in the family, was crying, seen holding a doll. The incident was caught on video. So there was Lindsay Rich, who witnessed a family of 4 stopped by federal agents, with at least one family member is being detained by a group of 15 federal officials adjacent to Millennium Park. Great, rounding up people in the streets. All right. Is this horrifying to see? Hey, Brave New World. Fahrenheit 451. We got another video right here.
Shame! 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 Shame on you! Shame! Shame! Shame!
Continuing on, there were also boats seen patrolling on the Chicago River. An emergency press conference was held by the Illinois Coalition for Immigration and Refugee Rights Sunday in response to the federal operation downtown in the day. Several elected officials, including Lieutenant Governor Julia Stratton, Representative Chuy Garcia, Alderman Jesse Fuentes, and Byron Cinco Lopez, spoke at the press conference. Today, we witnessed the further militarization of ICE tactics in Chicago as they showed up downtown to indiscriminately continue to profile against people just because of what they look like, just because of what they look like, their appearance, Garcia said. Johnson's chief of staff, also said at the press conference that the mayor office pledges to ensure Chicago police officers remain unmasked, uniformed, and non-cooperative with federal agents. Well, Chicago police superintendent said he's not going to do anything to stop ICE agencies, so he's not going to. CPD is not going to play a role in this right now. A large group of protesters followed a group of armed officers from Michigan Avenue into the Gold Coast, saying, "Get out of Chicago." It is clear how many. It's unclear how many arrests were made during the operation. Multiple construction workers were reportedly arrested at a downtown construction site, and a food cart was left vacant near the Art Institute of Chicago. They're going after the food carts. No. Not too far from Trump Tower. Not too far from Trump Tower. So, everyone, what's the final takeaway? The final takeaway is these operations will be continuous and ongoing. They're not going to go away. And the mayor made many promises. The one caveat is at least there's some humor here. So why not? Just for laughs, because we have to end this on a high note. They're not going to go away. ICE is not going to go away. They're not going to leave. Nope. Trump has made it clear they're going to stay. And I mark my words, my prediction will be this. There will be more ICE agents in Chicago, and it will eventually lead to the opening of the National Guard patrolling the streets of Chicago. I know that's a grim, dark note to end it on, but that's what's going to happen. Chase after him. Shouldn't have done it in the first place. What were you thinking?